When I was in middle school, I could barely stand being at home, school, or anywhere for that matter. It wasn't clear to anyone but me. They all just thought I'd given up in school. This was true, but not in the manner they had come to assume. I was in desperate need of something to help me cope with all this stress. The next few days, I started searching for that something. I went from meditation to exercising. I started writing stories. I even started to just think about life in general. Sadly, I was beginning to think I'd never find some illumination to the darkness that was my problem. The next week proved to me that there was hope after all. Fate decided to play a helping hand for me in the form of walking my dog. I took him out, and within 10 minutes we stumbled across a park. I headed onto this trail that led me through several trees and into this awe-inspiring scenario. It looked as though it had been taken straight out of a fairy tale. I rushed my dog back home, knowing I'd want to explore more in depth. Shortly after, I found the path. Once again, I was in this majestic setting. The air was crisper than a new $1 bill. The trees towering above looked as if they belonged in the Amazon. Whenever I went anywhere, my mind was always on the park. As I started to go there more often, I felt the stress just melt away. Unfortunately, report cards were coming out very soon. I was starting to see the bigger picture now. I was going to fail all of my classes. The failing part wasn't that bad. It's not like it was unexpected or anything. From the moment I found out that my middle school couldn't hold me back, I stopped trying. The bad part was that I had been lying to my parents about my schoolwork. Every day they would ask if I had completed my homework, and I would always say yes. It's not even like I could start doing well. I had not been paying attention the whole year, so I had no idea what the material was on. The report cards were here along with the truth. The trust bond that my parents and I held had been severed. The grounding part was the worst. I was forced to stay inside and be yelled at by everyone. There was nothing that could relieve me of my stress. I started to hate myself for thinking that a simple park with woods would be the answer to my problems. The answer would have been to study and try in school, but it was too late for that. Once I entered high school, I knew that the answer was not the park with the woods. The answer was to apply myself and pay attention. That is exactly what I did and have been doing ever since. I made a promise to everyone, including my middle school, would never repeat itself. I've been loyal to the promise, and everyone is happy with the results. I realize that everybody has a way of dealing with problems in their life. That unfortunately, when people find something they think is the answer, they don't think of the consequences that come along with that answer. For me, it was the park along with failing. I was happy and didn't care about school. For others, it's gangs and violence with the chance of jail or even death. They feel the need to belong, and gangs are the answer. It all depends on how severe the stress is. There are even some instances where the consequences aren't bad. Luckily, my situation was one of those. The relationship between my parents and me are better than ever. They trust me to do the right thing. I'm very satisfied with the choices I've made and how those choices have affected me in the long run. I currently hold a 3.6 GPA, with the last term being a 4.1. I'm satisfied with my life in general and have not been to the park ever since. Unlike in middle school, I've got a plan for the future. My personality has improved as well. I no longer am the immature punk who had no respect for anything or anyone. I now am a mature, bright, and innovative person. I treat people around me with respect. I've learned not to let others influence me in negative ways. I'm glad that I went through that phase, because if I hadn't, then I might have never seen how bad things can get. I can say that terrible experience known as middle school helped me become who I am today.